Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Weekly Coder. I'm Chris, and this week we are going to continue working on our Pac-Man tutorial. I know that's a shocker for most of you, but hey, just a little bit of sarcasm for you guys. Anyways, so where we left off was adding more points to our point system, so actually optimizing that and allowing Pac-Man to score more points for when he's consuming ghosts, because you know, after all, that's a lot of hard work, and Pac-Man should be rewarded for such tasks. Well, we are greedy, and we want to have even more points, right? And what better way to do that than to introduce the bonus items that are actually in the Pac-Man game? So what we've got are cherries and strawberries, peaches, apples, grapes, a Galaxian ship, a bell, and a key. Okay. The way these work, and they are not just used as bonus items, but they're also used as level counters. So you may have noticed that as we've been building this game, that there isn't really any kind of representation for the current level that we're at. So there's not like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 showing us which level that we're currently on. Well, that's what these bonus items are for. They're actually level counters. So, for instance, we've got cherry, which will mark level 1. We've got strawberry, which will mark level 2. And then we've got peach, which will mark level 3 and 4. And then apple, which is 5 and 6. Grape, which is 7 and 8. And we've got the Galaxian ship, which is 9 and 10. And we've got the bell, which works for 11 and 12. And the key, which is levels 13 and up. So everything after level 13 also gets a key. Alright? So the way that this works is on the side here, okay, in our user interface, we're going to show a cherry, a strawberry, a peach, and an apple, and then, and another peach, and then an apple and an apple, a grape and a grape, Galaxian, bell, and then a bonus key, a key right at the bottom there. And that's going to help indicate which level we're currently on. What else this is going to do is, for each level, okay, we are going to actually give Pac-Man a bonus item, which is going to be the item of the current level. So if the current level is 1, the item is going to be a cherry, which is going to be depicted here on the side. And that means that a cherry bonus item is going to appear right here in the middle, right after Pac-Man has consumed the first 70 dots. Okay, first 70 pellets. Then a bonus item is going to appear. Pac-Man's going to have the ability to consume that item and then get more points. For the cherry, it's 100 points. After another 200, or after 270 bonus items have been, after 270 pellets have been consumed, we are going to show the bonus item again. So each bonus item gets shown twice per round. Okay. At 70 pellets consumed and at 170 pellets consumed. That's when those bonus items are going to show. And the bonus items are going to only be available for a random interval, I'm having a really, really hard time talking here. They're going to be available for a random interval time of anywhere between 9 to 10 seconds. And that's going to be a random time that we're going to choose for that bonus item to be available to us. If the timer expires before Pac-Man gets to the bonus item, then the bonus item gets destroyed. And then it won't show back up until Pac-Man consumes 170 pellets. And then again, it'll choose a time between 9 and 10 seconds to remain active. If Pac-Man doesn't get the bonus item will disappear. Alright, so and what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this into two parts. Because it's as I started working on this, to kind of prepare for this video, I realized that there's going to be quite a bit of code, okay, and there's going to be some folder restructuring, there's going to be some images added, so there's going to be a lot of stuff going on, and I'd rather split it up over 2 tutorials than to make just one long one, and the long one would probably be an hour or more. So I really don't want to try to do that to you guys. Because it's easier to miss things that way. So let's try to keep the tutorial short, and then next week I'll finish it up. So this week what we're going to concentrate on is getting the images into Unity for all of the bonus items. We're going to make it so that our bonus items are going to indicate which level we're on by showing up on the screen, and that's probably as far as we're going to go with that. Yeah, that's probably as far as we're going to go. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do to get prepared is we are going to create a resources folder. Okay, and we're not going to really need that right now, but later we will. So what we're doing is we're going to Assets, and we're going to right-click in Assets, click Create and Folder. I'm going to call this Resources. And make sure that you name it appropriately. Give it a capital R because this folder is name specific. And then what we're going to do is we're going to drag prefabs into Resources. Alright, so our prefabs folder is now part of our resources. And that's not going to mean much to you right now, but it will soon. Okay, and probably not until the next tutorial next week. So I'm going to probably do a previously on the Weekly Coder before we get started on the next tutorial and we hit next week. Okay, so that you can be reminded of what we've done here and why we've done it. Anyways, moving on. We've got our graphics folder here, and in the graphics folder we've got a Ghosts folder and a Pac-Man folder. We're going to create another folder in graphics, and we're going to call this one Bonus Items. And in this Bonus Items folder, we're going to drag and drop our bonus items. And let me tell you something. I have actually sat and created each one of these, alright, based on the original Pac-Man bonus items. So they're not perfect by any means. They don't represent the bonus items pixel for pixel, but I did the best I could. So here they are. Okay, so we've got our apple, our bell, cherries, the Galaxian, the grapes, the key, the peach, and a strawberry. Now, just like with all the other graphics, we're going to have to select these and change a couple of things. So I'm just going to Command or Shift and hold down and then select the last one. So again, that's you select the first one, you hold down Shift and select the last one. That selects all of them. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to change our pixels per unit. We've got 100 right now. We're going to change it to 16. And we're also going to change our filter mode from bilinear to point. Okay? That means no filter is going to be applied. That means there's not going to be any aliasing done to our images. That's going to give them that crisp, pixelated look. Alright? So now all we have to do is click Apply. And now if we drag one of these in, you'll see that they match the size perfectly of where they need to be. Alright? Perfectly of where that doesn't even make any sense. Anyways, so the cherry is the perfect size to fit right here. Is basically where it's going to go. And all the other fruits are going to go there as well. But for now, let's just delete that. I just wanted to show you where it goes. Now, we've got our graphics. Now what we need to do is we need to zoom out. And instead of zooming out, let's just double-click on the canvas in the hierarchy. And it basically focuses on our canvas. And then we can zoom in a little bit. So, if we want to see what the canvas looks like along with our game, we can actually take our game and we can move it to the side here so that we've got a split view of the game and the canvas. Okay, so now we've got both panels that we can see what's going on, because we can't work with the game panel. We can't drag stuff around in the game panel, but we can only see both the canvas and our game objects together in the game view. So we have to have them side by side if we want to, see what's going on. Now, what we need to do in order to show which level we're on, we're going to use our bonus item graphics that we just added. Okay. So the way that we're going to do that is here in Canvas, we're going to right-click and go down to UI, and then we're going to click on Image. Alright? So we're going to name this image Level. And as you can tell, we've got a white square on the screen, which is not what we want. We want to actually assign an image to that. So we're going to go over here in the inspector properties for this image, and we're going to go down to where it says source sprite and click on that. And out of all the sprites that we've got loaded here, we're going to start with cherry. So we're going to load the cherry. Alright, now if you'll look, this cherry is extremely large compared to everything else. So we are going to make this cherry just a little smaller, and I'm going to give it a width of 60 and a height of 60. Alright, because that looks just about right. And let's take this cherry and move it over here a little further. And let's maybe move it up to right about here, maybe. Or let's go with 235 on the X and negative 15 on Y. Alright. So now what we've got to do is we've got to create 13 or 12 more of these. Okay. So we're just going to select the cherry, press the Command D, and let's go to our crosshairs, and let's move it over. And we're going to move this to just about here, which is going to be 295 and negative 15 for the Y. And then what we're going to do is, again, we're going to duplicate it. And it's going to be at 355. And the Y is going to be negative 15. And then we're going to duplicate it again. And it's going to be at 415 and negative 15. Alright, so now we've got 4. So now we're going to duplicate all 4 of these and just move them down. Okay. And then we're going to duplicate them again and move them down. And then we're going to just duplicate this first one here, and we're going to move it down. Okay. Alright. So now we've just got a whole bunch of cherries. So what we need to do is we need to go through each one of these and just change the image. Alright, so instead of a cherry for this one, we're going to use a strawberry. And for this one, it's going to be a peach. And this fourth one here is also going to be a peach. And then this one is going to be an apple. And then the one after it is also going to be an apple. And after the apple, we're going to have the grape. And another grape. Alright. And after the grape is going to be the Galaxian. And another Galaxian. And then we're going to have the bell. And another bell. And finally, we will have the key. Alright? So, the way that I'm doing this, and honestly, I don't know what happens after you get to level 13 on Pac-Man, if you just keep getting more and more keys. But from what I hear, level 21 is pretty much it. Not for the end of the game, but you know, you don't go past level 21 as in difficulty-wise. Nothing changes. The levels are exactly the same after level 21 or 2021, something like that. Anyway, so I'm only going to go all the way up to 13. You guys can keep going if you want, make more keys, but do know that after 13, the only object you're going to get to indicate any new levels are going to be keys. And that's the only bonus items that you're supposed to get as well, is just the keys. Alright? So, now that we've got that, what we actually need to do is we need to go through and select all of these, and we need to disable the image component of those game objects. Alright? Because we don't want to show all of these. Now, we're going to go through and actually name every single one. So we've got level, and we've got level 2. So we'll name this one level 1. This one will be level 3. Level 4. So this is named, this is backwards, so that'll actually be level 8. This will be level 7. Level 6. Level 5. This will be level 9. Level 10. Level 11. Level 12. And level 13. Alright, so now let's organize these because I'm OCD. I'm going to put level 5 after 4, and then 6 after 5, oops, 6 after 5, and 7 after 6. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13 for the levels. Right. Okay, so the next part is going to be, should be easy as well. We're going to go into scripts, and we're going to go to our game board script, which is here. And we need to create an array that is going to hold all of our images. So what we'll do is we'll go here, and we're going to make it public, and it's going to be an image array. Alright, so then the brackets to indicate that it's an array. And we're going to call this one level images. Okay? We're not going to assign it anything. We're not going to give it an actual size here. We're going to do that in the inspector. Okay? For now, we've got this. And so what we need to do is we need to actually go down to our update UI method. Okay? And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create an integer, and we're going to call this current level. And the reason that I'm doing this is because we've got two players, okay? So we've got either player 1 or player 2. And I don't want to have to write this code twice, so I'm just going to store either level in the current level variable and then just check the current level variable against my code. So that way I don't have to check player 1 level or player 2 level. So what we'll do is we'll say if is player 1 up, then the current level equals player 1 level. Okay. Otherwise, the current level is going to equal player 2 level. Since if player 1 isn't up, it's going to definitely be player 2. And then at the very end, after this else statement, but before the method ends, we're going to add some more code, and that code is going to first hide all of the current graphics that are used to show on the level, and that's because if we're switching between player 1 and player 2 gameplay, if player 2 doesn't have as many levels as player 1, then those graphics will still be there unless we clear them out. So what we'll do is we'll do a for loop, and we're going to do int I equals 0, and I is less than level images dot length, and then we'll do I++. Alright? And for every iteration, we're going to create an image instance, and we're going to assign it the current index in the level images array. Okay, so we've got that image game object now, and we can set the enabled property on that to false. Right? So basically in that for loop, all we're doing is we're setting each of the images to false. Right? So every image in that array, and you're probably a little confused because what are you talking about images in the array? We haven't put any images in the array. Well, you're right. We haven't put any images in the array yet, but we're going to. We're going to do that in just a second. We have to write a few more lines of code. We're going to write another for loop. We're going to do int I equals 1. I is less than level images dot length plus 1 I++. Alright. Same thing. We're going to check, actually not same thing. We're going to check if the current level is greater than or equal to I, which is our index. If it is, then we're going to set image li. We're going to create an instance of the game object that is at this index, index I minus 1. And then we're going to set its enabled property equals to true. Alright? So let me walk you through that real quick. And this is a little different because for every loop that you've ever seen me create, I've always used 0, okay, as the default value for I. So what's going on here is we're starting I at 1, and we're adding 1 to the length of the level images. Because there's 13 images and all arrays start at 0, we want our I to represent 1 because our current level variable represents the current level, and the current level starts at 1 and not 0. So if we were to start I at 0, I would be 0, and our current level would be 1 at first, and if 1 is greater than or equal to I, which is 0, okay, then we're going to get the image for level 1, and then it's going to equal, and at the next iteration I is going to equal 1, and then our current level is still 1, and then it's going to check to see if it's greater than or equal to I, which is true because I is 1, current level is greater than or equal to 1, so it's equal to, which means it's also going to give us the second thing in the array, which is going to be the strawberry. And here what we do is we subtract 1 from I because we want I to be the actual index of the array and not the current level. Right? So just a little bit of manipulation of the variables so that we can get the right things that we want out of this. Okay? So now we've enabled the images that we need to enable for each level, right? So let's go ahead and save that and then go back into Unity. We need to do one more thing. We need to take level 1 and all the way to level 13, highlight them all. And we need to go up here to tag, and we need to change the tag from untagged to UI elements so that these don't get included in with our array when we collect all the pellets and Energizer pellets. Okay? So we've got level 1 through level 13 here. And if we look at our game object, because we created this new array called level images, and we didn't give it a size, it starts off at 0. So all we have to do here is we say, okay, well our size is going to be 13. Alright, so now, after inputting 13, we'll see that we've got all the elements 0 through 12. So now all we have to do is take level 1 and drag it on to element 0, level 2, element 1, and we just keep doing this until we've got them all dragged in here. So it should only take a second. Level 5, level 6, level 7, level 8. Oops. Level 8. Level 9. Level 10. Level 11. Level 12. And level 13. So this is how our images are assigned to our image array that we're then calling in our for loops. So if we did everything correctly, we should be able to save this. Alright, so we're going to do File and Save Scenes. And we're going to go up to our scenes and we're going to go into Game menu. I'm going to click Play. I'm going to go down to play for 2 players. Alright, I'm going to take this game and put it back in here. As you can see, we've got a cherry right here. That's indicating that we're on level 1. Now, I'm going to see if I can get us to level 2 so that we should see a strawberry right next to our cherry. Alright. Alright, now you see how the strawberry was added next to our cherry. Now that indicates that we're on level 2. And also, so you know, now that we're on level 2, when the bonus fruit appears, which it's not going to yet because we haven't programmed that in, the type of bonus item that's going to appear is going to be a strawberry, as it states there on the side of the game board. Okay, so it's an indicator of our level. We've got 2 bonus items there, which means that we are on level 2. And that the bonus item we're going to pick up is going to be a strawberry. So I'm just going to keep playing until I die, which may be sooner rather than later. Alright, so now we're on level 3. We've got a peach. And, you know, I've noticed, too, that a lot of people have different names for these things. So, like, I think some people are calling the peach an orange, which, I mean, I guess you could... It could technically be an orange. I mean... So... Ah! Alright, that's my first time dying. Oh, so now we've got player 2. Okay, so that's a good thing that we did the 2-player thing, because now we can see that player 2 is only on level 1 by the fact that, you know, there's only a cherry. So now we should get back to player 1. Yep, and we've got our peach, strawberry, and our cherry, which is cool. Which means that all the code that we wrote, which is not really a whole lot, is working exactly how we want it to work. Haha! Yes! Level 4. Okay. Now it's gonna get even harder. And guys, you know, I know that there are some bugs. And I know a couple of people have already done a really good job of informing me of the bugs that they've found. And I plan on going through all of the comments that mention any of the bugs. And I plan on... I probably shouldn't talk when I play. I plan on actually going through all of those and making like an episode on maybe optimization and optimization debugging maybe episode. 'Cause that would be kind of fun because, you know, that way you guys can kind of see what I do to kind of step through trying to figure out how to actually solve some of these problems. Alright, look at that. We are on level 5. And things are moving super fast. Oh, come on now. Ah! Oh my god. Oh, okay, I did that to myself. Okay. So, anyways, alright, fine. Let's see how far we can get with this guy. This game is addicting. Alright, level 2, player 2. Oh, okay. Player 2 sucks. Alright, so, anyways, here we are back at the menu, so we've run out of lives. Thank you, Pac-Man. Anyways, so yeah, there you have it. Awesome stuff. So, like I said, next week, we're going to take those same bonus item images, those graphics, and we're going to actually add those to the gameplay so that they show up as bonus items that we then can collect and get more score for it. And what I may also add to that episode is the ability for Pac-Man to get extra lives. And I think, I know he gets 1 extra life at 10,000 points. I don't know if he gets any more after that, but we're going to check into that and figure it out. Alright? So, until next time, guys have a great weekend. Again, Mark, thank you for supporting me on Patreon. See you guys next time.